The damned will sooner die again than lay a hand on me.
Alright. Here.
Huh? Do you also see 𝓜𝓪𝓻𝓮𝓬𝓱𝓪𝓾𝓼𝓼 over there? They look like they might have run into some kind of trouble. Let's go check out what's going on!
Still no doubt?
Not at all. And I've asked pretty much everyone in the court of Fontaine already. Lynette's ears drooped as soon as she heard that we'd have to be out and about for days on end. And 𝓜𝓪𝓻, he hid himself under his helmet as soon as he realized there'd be people around that he didn't know.
Sorry, I was moving things around.
What about Chiori and Charlotte? I feel like both of them would be more than up to it.
I've asked them already, but they're both pretty busy right now. I just gave the members of the 𝓜𝓪 a few days off, too, so I don't want to bother them either.
This is getting pretty difficult.
𝓜𝓪𝓻𝓮𝓬𝓱𝓪𝓾, what's up?
Oh my. Well, if it isn't my dear partners. How are you all doing?
Huh. Navia?
Huh? Oh!
Yep, this is our chance.
Oh, no.
Do you need our help with something?
Oh, precisely. My dear partners, we've got a huge problem right now that...
Whoa, for real?
Absolutely. We've already exhausted all our other options.
Traveler, Paimon, would you join us and play 𝓜𝓪𝓻𝓮𝓬𝓱 Judgment Day?
The heck? Sorry. Not over here. Sorry, what that?
𝓜𝓪𝓻𝓮𝓬𝓱 what now?
It's a new game script by the Tabletop Troupe, a local roleplay adventure club.
No.
Ever heard of the Tabletop Troupe? They put out games that allow you to participate in a story and roleplay characters with your friends. Oh, I've loved their stuff ever since I was a kid.
Oh shoot, sorry. There we go.
That sounds super interesting.
Clorand and I are both veteran members of the club. Recently, someone came up with a new script and was looking for people to help playtest it for them. And when they asked, of course I couldn't refuse. I mean, come on! A brand new script? Nobody has ever played it before.
Generally speaking, scripts at that level of development have a lot of issues. But I think this one is pretty solid.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! I know I was the one that handed you the script, but some of us haven't read it yet.
Anyway, the script calls for a team of 4.
So, you're saying you'll help...
Paimon and the Traveler are kind of a package deal. Is that okay?
That's not a problem. I'll adjust the pace based on the actual number of players.
Well, Traveler, what do you think? Wanna play?
Well, that solves our problem.
Oh, I'll go grab the script manager from...
The script manager?
The club introduced a completely new kind of gameplay for this script. In this iteration, the Game Master's version of the script is incomplete. On top of that, in order to increase player immersion,
Wow, you're right. Whoever...
And it's got a real healthy amount of suspense, right? I mean, even the GM doesn't know how the story will end.
I look forward to experiencing it with you all.
Why don't you go meet up with the others first? They should all be waiting at Chioriya Boutique.
Sounds good. Remember to...
You say that like a... Let me think.
I just hope you'll pick up some useful skills this time.
Okay.
Sorry to keep you waiting.
And Furina.
You're back!
Great.
Huh? And you've got the Traveler and Paimon with you too!
What a pleasant surprise. I assume you'll be joining us for the game then?
Linny, Farina! Paimon did...
I'm more of a casual member, if anything. I haven't taken part in many formal club activities. 𝓜𝓪𝓻𝓮𝓮 and I play something similar at the Hotel 𝓜𝓪𝓻𝓮 sometimes, but I'm usually the GM. Still, I'm sure it'll be fun being a player for the first time. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, I'm not a member of the club at all. 𝓜𝓪𝓻 simply woke me up first thing this morning, said there was a good script worth experiencing, and asked if I wanted in.
If you're interested, I can give you a referral. That should give you a 40% discount on membership fees.
I think I'll wait to see how this experience plays out first.
Do you participate in a lot of tabletop troupe activities?
You could say that. She's actually one of the few senior game masters of the troupe.
Right. I knew...
It's nothing.
Wow. Paimon's so used to seeing...
Surely you jet. I maintain a clear boundary between my professional and personal lives. The me you see at court represents the law and order of Fontaine. But in my personal life, I'm just an ordinary person. Someone who feels anger and sadness.
Well, you say that, but for all the time I've known you, I don't think I've ever seen you cry. I've seen you get angry, sure, but now I'm wondering whether you were actually mad or if it just looked that way from the outside.
I was probably in work mode during those times.
Is that so? Well, in any case...
So you want to see me cry?
No.
I'm back! Here, allow me to introduce you to the script manager.
Pleasure to meet you all.
Hello? Wait, are you a champion duel?
Oh, no. This is just the costume provided by the club.
That sounds like a lot of work.
It's nothing. It's the least we can do to give the players a more immersive experience. Anyway, allow me to give you... This script was adapted from the real
Paimon's not super familiar with the history of...
Oh, no problem at all. I can give you a brief rundown. So, basically, 𝓜𝓲𝓻𝓮𝓮 hunters were people who dedicated themselves to hunting monsters and protecting the city by using a special swordsmanship technique passed down over generations. Their story can be traced back to the ancient 𝓜𝓪𝓻𝓮 dynasty, as well as the first hunter, Cassiodor. But I'll leave the finer details for you to seek out and discover later.
And I'll provide additional commentary as the story progresses.
In that case... Brave hunters, are you ready to set out on an unknown adventure?
Whoa, just one sentence and it's like we're in the story already!
Aha, I see many a determined gaze before me.
So, as we follow the story, it leads us to specific
It's the exact location of the scene, as well as the formal permission to use the venue. Please check all your belongings, everyone, and make sure you haven't forgotten anything.
Sounds good! Hunter Squad?
Oh, this is gonna be fun.
The rain stopped. I don't concern myself with the weather.
Whoa, they really have thought of everything. Even the phaetometer is here and ready.
The phaetometer.
It's a card that's used to determine action success or failure. We'll need to use it when we try to use certain skills.
And what about all the dessert and tea?
That's what the message said.
Oh, really? That's so nice.
Those snacks have Paimon's name written all over them.
I think you might be more of a snack hunter than a 𝓜𝓪𝓻𝓮𝓮 hunter, Paimon.
Snack hunter Paimon reported for duty. If there are delicious snacks to be found, Paimon will track down every last one.
The desserts are great. But I'm still looking forward to the story more than anything.
Very fair. Then, let us begin. First, please pick up the blank character cards in front of you. You can find an abbreviated version of the rules printed on the back of your character card. In this story, everyone is a 𝓜𝓲𝓻𝓮 hunter.
Ooh, nice.
As hunters, you have proficiency in swordsmanship and fighting by default, so there's no need to allocate any additional skill points to those areas.
Swordsmanship?
Why don't you share a character card then?
Kinda like in real life.
So, for the name.
Yep. It can be any name you like.
You can use your real name too if you want. I do that whenever I get too lazy to think of a new name.
Oh, so it would be like experiencing
Hi.
a different life. But
In that case, I think I'll continue to use the name Linny then.
Next up is
Great.
the skill sheet. You have a limited amount of skill points that you can use to learn a number of skills.
I'll take persuasion and investigation.
Oh, those skills sound like they...
So, should we also take the...
Not necessarily. Since we're working together as a team, we could leave the negotiations to Navia and use our skill points to pick up other useful skills.
Oh,
For example, I think I'll take
Good luck.
stealth and sleight of hand.
Oh, interesting. Let me see. I'll take arts and performance.
yeah.
I'm not
I'll
quite
wish you
sure
luck.
what use will be.
Well, that leaves us. What do you want to learn, Traveler?
Huh. Good question. Cooking, medicine, insight. Oh,
Oh, something that'll help you get a read on other people's thoughts. Sounds useful.
You know what? Why not? And cooking.
Gotta say, this suits you really well. Nothing boosts morale like good food. So what do you think? Are you sure you want to learn these two skills?
Let's see. Oh, looks like you each have enough points to choose one final skill.
You've all picked such classic skills. It's fine to go a little bit out of the box, you know.
Why do I get the feeling she's getting ready to cause trouble?
For example, this one here. Summon. Doesn't it sound super mysterious and cool?
I mean, it does, but...
I saw that one just now as well. The description says, this skill can be used under certain circumstances to summon characters or creatures that fit the script's world-building rules.
The script's world-building rules, huh? But how are we supposed to know what a 𝓜𝓲𝓻𝓮𝓮 hunter can summon?
Oh, that's not for us to worry about, my friend. Just learn the skills that interest you, and the GM will take care of the rest.
All right, you've convinced Paimon. Let's learn summon then.
Well, now that everyone's more or less finished creating their characters, since 2 of our players are doing this for the first time though, let me ask. Would you like to play on easy mode or authentic mode?
What's the difference between the two?
Well, in role-playing games, the story sometimes changes based on the decisions of the players and the results of the fathometer. For example, if you fail a check, that means you cannot use the target skill in that scenario. If you choose to play in authentic mode, every time you elect to use a skill, you'll need to use the fathometer to see whether you succeed or fail, and face any consequences that may follow. If you choose easy mode instead, every check will be successful by default, and you won't have to worry about luck playing a factor.
Or I think I know how this goes. Okay. Ouch, this thing. Okay.
Given that I'd like to focus on the story, I suppose I should pick easy mode.
Huh? Oh, come on. Don't worry about that. RNG is the lifeblood of role-playing games. I'm going with authentic mode for never knowing what you might have to overcome. Ugh.
I'd rather be mentally prepared for what...
All right, then I'll mark down Farina for easy mode. All her checks will be successful by default. As usual, Navia and Linny will play on authentic...
What about you, dear partner? How would you like to play?
I want to play on easy, but I don't. No.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Trust me, you'll see the beauty of our... Honestly, I don't think 𝓜𝓪𝓻 would make things too difficult.
No?
That wasn't super reassuring.
Well, anyway, enough talk. Let's...
Speaking of the story, why is the beginning scene on a beach?
Well, that's because a long time ago,
Ooh.
back when human civilization was still in its infancy, powerful demons and evil sorcerers ruled over the land. They created a host of monsters and sent them to slaughter all humans in existence. Soon, a group of human rebels banded together. With their swords raised, they swore to brave the darkness, and in doing so, subdue each and every monster that sought their destruction. They became known as the 𝓜𝓲𝓻𝓮𝓮 Hunters. Sometime later, as a member of the 𝓜𝓲𝓻𝓮𝓮 Hunters, you receive a commission. Following the address provided on the message, you take a boat and arrive at this strange city. As you inhale, you can taste the slightly salty air of the docks as you begin to survey your surroundings. There aren't many people in the vicinity, but you do take note of a few others who, like you, seem to be sizing up this place. Your eyes meet, and you realize these people are fellow 𝓜𝓲𝓻𝓮𝓮 hunters, likely led to this location after receiving the same commission as you.
You're all 𝓜𝓲𝓻𝓮𝓮 hunters too, right? Allow me to introduce myself. The name's Navia, monster hunter by trade and helpful neighborhood businesswoman on the side. What say you to traveling together? We can help each other out on the road.
Okay, count me in. My name is Linny. I've been wandering since I was little and picked up a few less than legal tricks along the way. I was adopted by a 𝓜𝓲𝓻𝓮𝓮 hunter and later chose to follow in his footsteps.
Is this where you introduce your character to everyone? My name is Farina, and, I grew up in a noble family. I always had a strong interest in performance and the arts. Even though I'm a 𝓜𝓲𝓻𝓮𝓮 hunter, what I really want is to be a performing artiste.
Okay.
Hey, that's really cool. You can do it, Furina. That's exactly how it's done.
Paimon is Paimon, a good friend and companion to this 𝓜𝓪𝓻𝓮𝓮 hunter right here.
I've been studying the culinary arts since I was a child. I hope my delicious food can help boost people's... That's wonderful! I'll be looking forward to your cooking during our adventures together.
I like the outfit.
Well, if we're all here for the same commission,
That's
why don't we
actually
take
pretty
some
cool.
time to confirm what we need to do?
You open your envelopes at the same time. The message to the honorable and trustworthy 𝓜𝓪𝓻𝓮𝓮 hunters. Our kingdom is currently facing a grave crisis. The lands outside the capital have been overtaken by monsters, and our people are being led astray by forces of wickedness. We beseech you, please help us resolve this crisis and return peace and stability to our home.
Huh. The layout of this city looks super familiar.
The scriptwriter must have used a real-world city as a reference when coming up with the map.
As experienced hunters, the layout of the city reminds you of places once traveled. You recall the sight of tree-lined streets, yet, as you regard the city in front of you, it appears to be little more than an empty
I carefully read every line of the letter and turn my attention to the signatures at the bottom. Who issued this commission to us?
You see a long string of unfamiliar names. It would seem that many of the residents of the city issued this commission together. They
In that case, why don't we take a walk around the city and see if we can learn anything from the local residents?
Good idea. We might be able to get some leads on the monsters and bad guys we're after.
You look up and see a tavern nearby. It appears to be open for the day.
Why don't we go check out that tavern? If the novels I've read are anything to go by, taverns are usually full of information.
As you approach the tavern, you find a plainly dressed woman standing nearby. She appears to be rather troubled about something.
Standing or sitting? Because,
Greetings, friend. Lovely weather we're having today.
Oh, hello. I suppose you're right. The weather today is quite lovely.
It seems like every character included in the script has a certain amount of useful information to offer. If we keep asking questions, we might be able to get some good leads.
Oh, come now. Don't be sad. Life is all about optimism. Oh, that reminds me. What did you have for breakfast this morning?
Huh?
I don't think that's the kind of question we're supposed to ask.
Nothing turns a frown upside down like good food. How about some macarons?
You didn't even take cooking as one of your skill proficiencies.
That's not necessary, miss. Excuse me for saying that.
So you're someone who barely smiles and doesn't like sweets. Hey! Did she just... me?
𝓜𝓪𝓻 must have broke character for a second.
This isn't getting us anywhere. Traveler, maybe you can think of something.
Are you sure? In that case, please refer to the phaetometer.
Whoa, it was a success!
You remain silent as you prepare a pot and fire to use for cooking. The woman stares at you with her mouth agape As you skillfully cut the ingredients and toss them in, after some time, a rich aroma begins to fill the air. Even a passing cat can...
Please have some food.
Whoa, that's amazing.
Wait. So as long as you pass the check, you can pretty much do anything? And it won't be seen as absurd?
Oh, you were right. This...
So what had you so worried?
Okay. A horde of monsters suddenly appeared near the capital.
Do you remember when those monsters appeared?
I'm not completely sure.
Do you know where he was sent?
It all happened so fast. When...
You have our thanks, friend. We'll find and defeat those monsters as soon as possible.
Oh, thank you.
Don't worry. We'll find him. We don't always get to choose what happens to us. But we do get to choose the little things, like what we...
You bid farewell to the woman, and continue your journey further into the city. As you venture further into the city, the streets appear largely empty. An elderly woman walks past. You see her shake her head as she puts away her wrinkled wallet. A nearby merchant folds his arms and gives you a disdainful look. You get the impression that he's someone who has long gotten used to the sight before him.
Although he doesn't seem very... friendly.
Pardon me, sir. I'd like to ask a question.
That depends. How much are you willing to pay?
How about...
What do you take me for? Some lowly beggar? You can't even buy half an onion with that amount.
Surely an onion can't be that
What do you know? War's nearly upon us. Everything costs several times what it did before. If you're not gonna buy anything, then screw...
Whoa, what a nasty guy.
But he still might have information we need. Traveler, can you think of something?
Let's see. Yeah.
Okay, while
There we go.
everyone is talking, I secretly use my magic props to summon a bottle of wine without the merchant noticing. We meant no offense, sir. Here, allow me to... I should mention that this wine is the perfect accompaniment to a meal. I'd suggest enjoying it with...
All right.
Do you have any information on the monsters or the crisis that has overtaken the kingdom?
Crisis. Those monsters are camped outside the city, and they've been destroying all our trade routes. We have limited reserves within the city, so if this can...
Wait, you're saying no one has put a plan in place to distribute supplies or maintain order?
We could all starve, and those nobles in the palace wouldn't even break a sweat. Who knows? Maybe they've been in cahoots with the monsters all along.
That is concerning. Thank you, sir. We won't...
Hey, why did you leave in such a hurry?
Well, you see, that bottle of wine was just a cardboard prop.
Should we try to go somewhere with more people?
Oh, how about the city square? Follow me.
Before you lies the city's central square. You see a man with a slightly anxious look on his face, pacing back and forth, his head hanging low. He doesn't seem to notice your approach. Still immersed in his own thoughts, he shakes his head and lets out a long sigh.
This guy seems promising enough. Maybe I can get some information out of him.
Hello, sir. Is there anything...
Wait, you're... Oh, dear goodness, you're...
You recognize us? Ah,
Yes, yes! Oh, I didn't expect you to actually come. Oh, what great news!
What happened here?
Alas, we once lived comfortable, carefree lives. This city used to be free of monsters. The first 𝓜𝓲𝓻𝓮𝓮 hunter, 𝔥𝔲𝓫𝓻𝓮𝓮, the Golden Hunter, he was the one who drove them back. However, monsters have once again surrounded the city. Perhaps...
Are there not enough soldiers to drive them out?
It's not a question of numbers. The guards simply have no idea how to deal with them. Most people my age have never even seen one of the monsters, much less been trained to fight against them. When I was a child, though, to be perfectly honest...
Well, you can rest
Sorry,
easy, friend.
you
The
weird,
righteous
like-
and formidable 𝓜𝓲𝓻𝓮 hunters are on the case.
The man is touched by your determination and resolve. His eyes begin to well with tears of relief.
Still, if we're...
All I know is that the... Oh, although, if you leave the capital through the main gate and follow...
I see.
All right, be careful. Oh, and one last thing. The monsters outside the city are just part of the problem. There are evil sorcerers inside the city as well, so be on your guard. They're actively working with the monsters, and even one of our kindest ministers has turned into a boorish and unreasonable figure.
talk about being stuck between a rock and a hard place.
I feel bad for him. Maybe we should try to cheer him up?
Like, now?
I appreciate your kindness, brave hunters. I leave the future...
If I understood
oh,
correctly,
I
there are currently
feel
two
like-
problems in the kingdom that need solving, right?
Exactly. We need to defeat the monsters outside the city and
Sorry.
take down the evil sorcerer
But which problem should we tackle first?
Well, this seems like a good moment for a break. Take some time and discuss what you want to do.
I really didn't expect the people in the city to keep us at arm's length like that.
Well, 𝓜𝓪𝓻 said the script took cues from the real history of Fontaine, right? Maybe the...
I wouldn't say it's a perfect representation of history, but there are definitely some similarities.
Oh.
Would you like to hear more about it?
Sure. As long as it doesn't spoil anything in the script. You've brought up bits and pieces of the hunter's history before, but it was all in passing.
There we go. Alright.
Paimon wants to know too!
No.
Huh? So you mean anyone could be...
In theory, yes. All you would need to do is... Still, most people dropped out at the early stages. And others called it quits the minute they saw a monster in person.
What kind of monsters did the hunters fight exactly?
The land of Fontaine once played host to an ancient dynasty known as 𝓜𝓪𝓻𝓮𝓮. One of the ancient sorcerers of 𝓜𝓜𝓻𝓮𝓮 used his power to assemble a formidable army of golems.
Now, wait a second.
Well, I wasn't planning on going into anything you might be able to find out in the game.
Wait, but those people are all from a super long time ago. Where did you learn all this, 𝓜𝓪𝓻?
From my master.
By master, you mean Miss Petronia? Absolutely. Miss Petronilla and my father were good friends.
Let's not get off topic. Anyway, back to what I was saying. Responding to Egeria's call, a number of warriors followed Cassiodor into battle against the monsters. Yet, as Fontaine entered an era of peace, their work gradually became obsolete. The 𝓜𝓪𝓻𝓮𝓮 Phantom, originally an association made up of hunters, eventually came to be predominantly comprised of Melusines.
Ah, I see. That explains why most of the people in the script have forgotten the hunters or think of them as nothing more than a legend.
Is that really a bad...
Depends on who you ask, I suppose. If the name of the organization no longer commands respect, investigative work is bound to suffer.
Speaking of investigations, which problem should we tackle first? Monsters or evil sorcerer?
I vote monsters. That's the main duty of the hunters, right?
Well said, Miss Farina. Plus, if the sorcerers really are the masterminds behind this whole thing, defeating the monsters could give us some clues on their intentions as well.
What about you, partner? What do you think? It's decided.
All right. After some discussion, you decide to turn around and head out of the city.
Let's take a look around, like that guy said.
You there! Outsiders, halt!
Who's there?
An armored man approaches you. He has a tall, muscular build and a determined expression in his eyes. Although he's trying his best to conceal his current state, his uneven gait and "I'm the captain of the guard. State your purpose, or it's off to the dungeons for the lot of you."
Wow, it's been a while since...
I said talk, not whisper between yourselves.
Have you ever heard of the 𝓜𝓻𝓮𝓮 hunters?
𝓜𝓫𝓻𝓮𝓮 hunters? Ha! That fairy tale, you mean? What, do you expect me to believe you're one?
Sir, we were indeed in the city earlier, but our purpose was only to gather information. Your guards are still...
The man regards you with doubt and concern. After a period of inner struggle, he lets out a long sigh. And those monsters aren't easy to deal with. But if you insist on going, I just hope all the guards will be able to...
Based on what the captain said, the monster should be right up ahead. Let's go. Hopefully we're not too late.
As you approach the battlefield, you see numerous people lying by the side of the road. They appear to be dressed like guards. Their faces are filled with desperation and terror. Some are screaming and cursing in vain, as if still trying to banish the monstrosities they saw from their minds. A few of the wounded look up at you in shock and disbelief. "Quick, leave this place. Turn around and don't look back," they yell.
Oh.
place he mentioned, right?
You see broken iron swords scattered all around you, and all the signs point to one thing. A truly devastating battle just took place.
Be on your guard, everyone. The monsters might...
Before you can finish your sentence, you hear rustling sounds from the surrounding bushes. The monsters have emerged. They close in on you without fear. You get the impression that...
A little help here! This thing wants...
Your battle round begins.
Let the world collide!
Here comes the finale.
The next battle round begins now.
Oh, jeez.
A proper send-down from the Stina with love. Ha! Shower me with praise!
The monsters let out a terrifying roar of anger and resentment before dissipating into thin...
Oh, thank goodness it's over.
We're lucky the 𝓜𝓻𝓻𝓮𝓮 Hunter class came with all those preset skill points. Otherwise, we would have been in some real trouble.
I never knew the photometer even determines the amount of damage you inflict. If you get unlucky, isn't it just game over right then and there?
That's part of the fun. The uncertainty of fate.
Just as you begin to celebrate your victory, a suspicious lump on the ground catches your attention.
A suspicious lump. Wait, the thing that appears after every battle?
I
I'm
walk
sorry.
up to it, crouch down,
It's funny.
and begin to carefully
Hi,
examine
Mom.
it. I've still got my right glove on, so it should be fine for me to touch it.
As you investigate the mound, you discover that the exposed portion appears to be made of wood. With the monsters gone, the small protrusion now awaits your discovery.
Whoa, it's a treasure chest!
With everyone's help, you successfully excavate the wooden chest from the ground.
Ah, at least that's good.
Even without opening it,
Makes sense. We worked hard for this. Let's open it and we can share what's...
I can understand your excitement, Paimon, but think about it. Doesn't it seem like there are people out there who need this treasure?
Yeah. Think about all the people suffering in the capital. Or all those guards who got hurt.
Wait, is that how it works?
Well, let's put it this way. Any decision you make during a role-playing game can impact the future course of the story.
I mean, you got a point.
But would the people really believe us? It's hard enough for us to prove we're 𝓜𝓻𝓻𝓮 hunters. What if they think we procured the treasure illegally? They might get even more suspicious of us.
That's definitely something we should consider. Maybe we can come up with an explanation in advance.
Well, if donating it could cause that much trouble, why don't we use it to buy some gear and fill up on good food?
looks like you're facing a difficult choice once again. Well, it's getting late. Why don't we call it a day for now?
Wow, where did the time go?
I'm not sure if it's because I'm having so much fun with you all or because the story is particularly enticing, but I feel like I could almost keep going.
Here, here. Ooh, how about we play through the night?
Ooh, actually.
Yeah, that won't work for me either.
Aw.
Lynette will give me an earful if I get home too late.
I understand how you feel, Navia, but we have to change venues for the next part of the story anyway.
Huh? Another location?
There's a special note for the GM at the end of this section that says to proceed to an indoor set for the next...
Whoa, he really pulled out all the stops?
Well, even if we end the game for the day, we can still stay a little longer and hear 𝓜𝓪𝓻 finish her story, right?
Something tells me you just want to finish the free desserts before we break for the day.
That's just a coincidence, okay? Besides, to Paimon, not finishing free food feels even worse than having to buy your own. And anyway, Paimon really does want to hear more about Chlorine.
Well... it's nothing. I appreciate the concern, but it's all in the past. It won't do any harm to share these things now. My earliest memories are of living with Master. According to her, she saved me from certain people of ill repute. My birth parents had left me behind some time before that.
What a heavy beginning for a life story.
Master was a fascinating individual. If inexperienced in the ways of raising children, my first ever toy was a short sword. Although I suppose it wasn't so much a toy as something Master removed from her waist and handed to a noisy child in need of distraction.
Oh wait, so she handed an actual sword to a child? Isn't that dangerous? Did you hurt yourself?
Of course I did. I cut my palm and bled quite a lot. But Master was not concerned. She just stood there and casually lectured me about it. See? That's what you get for not holding the sword properly, she told me. She then crouched down next to me and said, "Give me your hand. I'll teach you to bandage this wound. After that, it's time to learn how to truly hold a blade."
Excuse me for asking this, 𝓿𝓼, but how old were you exactly when all this happened?
Probably around, 3, give or take.
3? Isn't that when most kids are still struggling to hold a fork?
As I said, Master was rather inexperienced in the ways of raising children. She believed trial and error.
I'm not so sure this is a question of experience.
I didn't see anything wrong with her ways at the time. And anyway, children don't get to choose how they're raised. Oh, she did bring me back a pet from Liyue once. It was a 𝓜𝓪𝓻𝓮𝓮 hatchling.
What? Oh.
A 𝓜𝓪𝓻𝓻 hatchling? For a pet? That seems even more dangerous.
What she said was this: make sure to get along, you two. If you really can't agree on something, just settle it with a fight. Whoever loses is the real pet.
And how old were you when this happened?
5.
Well, did you win?
No, I lost.
So you're saying you actually became?
Yes, but only for a week. By the end of that week, I defeated it in combat, and we've shared a cordial relationship ever since.
That really doesn't sound like the kind of childhood someone should have.
Later on, I gradually understood that Master most likely didn't know any other way to raise a child. She was a marashosei hunter, but I never heard her bring up her own parents. Thanks to her, I learned how to navigate the forest by the age of 6, and could hunt monsters in the wild by myself the year after that. Even though the training she subjected me to was strict, she always made sure to take me traveling when she had the time. We met many of her friends during those days. That was also how I met Mr. 𝓼𝓼 and his family.
I still remember the first time we met. You were too scared to join our picnic and hid behind Ms. Petronia the whole time.
I still hadn't really met many children my age at that time, so I didn't know how to interact with others.
After that, though, you started coming over a lot. You loved challenging people to shooting competitions, remember?
I had a lot of fun during those days.
I enjoyed them too. Oh, we tried to pretend like we never heard anything, but you nearly let it slip that one time.
Protector of justice. Oh, wait, you mean that vigilante hero from 20 years ago? The one who is always active at night?
Yep, that would be her. She often would put on a black cloak and go out at night. I never knew where she went or what she was doing. Until, like Navia said, we overheard the truth from Mr. 𝓼𝓼 that
20 years ago, huh? I still remember the guards leaving all kinds of witness reports about her on Nervalette's desk.
My apologies.
Oh, there's no need to apologize. You had nothing to do with it.
And anyway, everything she did was for a good cause. Although, calling herself the protector of order was a bit much. Especially when she deliberately operated outside the law.
Huh? When did the protector of justice become the protector of order?
Oh, she had a bunch of code names. I heard she would just come up with a name on the spot whenever she was asked. Later on, she probably got sick of answering those questions and decided to stick to just two. The protector of justice and the protector of order.
That sounds like her, all right.
Well, she certainly sounds like a fascinating individual. With her strong sense of justice, it's no surprise her student followed in her footsteps.
It's true. I always wanted to become like her.
But...
She suddenly disappeared the night I turned 10 years old.
Disappeared? What?
I have no idea. She didn't even leave a note. That night, I was celebrating my birthday at Navia's house. But Master never came to pick me up. When I returned home on my own, it was to an empty house. When she still didn't appear after a few days, I went to Mr. Callus's house to ask about her whereabouts. But he only shook his head.
Papa probably didn't know either. I know he sent a few people to investigate the matter in secret, but they never found any credible leads.
Don't worry, I understand. To be perfectly honest, given Master's personality and way of doing things, it all made a lot of sense. Just like how, when a litter of kittens reaches a certain age, the mother willingly leaves them behind.
Were you upset, 𝓜𝓪?
I was at first, but not anymore.
Well, despite everything, you still managed to follow in her footsteps and become the greatest champion duelist in all of Fontaine. You're practically a living symbol of law and...
I suspect my position would be far too by the books for her. Master always did whatever she pleased. But you're right. I suppose I do take after her in some ways.
Who knew 𝓜𝓪 had such an interesting past? I never had the chance to ask her about it before. And I wonder... if 𝓜𝓪's master were the champion duelist back then... would that duel against Mr. Callus have gone differently? Oh no. Judging by the atmosphere, 𝓜𝓪 and Navia are probably thinking something similar. The mood just got super awkward all of a sudden.
Well, anyway... would you look at the time?
I had a great time today, Miss 𝓜𝓪.
Anytime.
The script was good, but hey, you should tell us more about that fight against the Geo-bishops.
You could be right.
What does she mean, on to something? I certainly don't know any 5-year-olds who want to fight a bishop in their spare time. Guess I'll head back as well.
You're that excited to hear about my fight with the bishop?
I was talking about the script.
This got even more interesting. Excuse me. It never wants to just, like... Fine. It never wants to go to the exact time.
Let's go meet up with the group! Paimon's really looking forward to today's...
Alright.
looks like everyone's here. Now, before we begin, why don't we finish where we left off yesterday? There was an...
Is that really the most important part? Have you all cold railed?
I admire the work put into the set. Still, it's obvious the scriptwriter has never paid a visit to the fortress of 𝓜𝓪𝓻𝓮𝓮.
So the set...
Unfortunately, that is something I can neither confirm...
Anyone think 𝓜𝓪𝓻's smile is starting to look kinda... scary?
Well, whatever happens, we'll just have to push on. But first, we should really figure out what to do with this treasure. If we're worried about arousing suspicion because of our
Yeah, it might be better to keep a low profile.
Staring at me won't get you anywhere.
Paimon, why aren't you saying anything, Navia?
Oh, this is the short sword 𝓜𝓪𝓻 mentioned last night.
Huh. I'm surprised you managed to track it down after all this time.
Well, I made sure to take good care of it, considering the circumstances in which you gave it to me. Anyway,
Wait, we haven't been thrown into prison yet.
Well, it's only a matter of time.
Alright, Paimon's made up her mind. Paimon may have wanted to keep it, but if it's going to land us in prison somehow, Paimon will be too upset to enjoy her snacks.
Developing as a character. Turns out Paimon cares more.
So, you reached an agreement?
Oh, and we'll collect all the scattered pieces of treasure.
All right. You collect the treasure and... The city is still shrouded in a gloomy, oppressive atmosphere, but your spirits are surprisingly high. In places where sunlight struggles...
Thank you, Kai.
The elderly woman's look of gratitude follows you as you walk away, her eyes never leaving your back until you...
She's probably trying to tell us to speed this up. We need to hurry up so we can address the sorcerer problem.
Should we go find that man again at the square? He seemed like a pretty responsible guy. I'm sure he knows the people here far better than us.
Oh, good idea!
Just as you start to make way to the square,
Please wait, distinguished guests.
several strange guards suddenly call out to you. They run forward to meet you and proceed to...
Greetings, gentlemen. Are we... Surely you jest, my lady. That would not be our place. It is His Excellency the King who requests to meet with you. Please...
Do you think this could be a trap?
Well, we have to investigate the court at some point, right? Meeting the king himself would be a fantastic...
I say we go for it. If something happens, we'll just turn the whole place upside down.
That sounds a little intense.
After a quick discussion, you nod to the guards and agree to follow. They lead you. Gilded tables line both sides of the hall. The space itself is adorned with all manner of expensive antiques, glass shells.
Wow, it's so luxurious.
The elderly king, clad in a magnificent robe, sits. He wears above his head a majestic crown, with a...
They're here, your majesty.
A man dressed in dark clothes, likely a minister. After a moment, he lowers his hands and stands back.
The king does not appear entirely aware of his surroundings. The man by his side, though.
The king remains still and says,
Esteemed guests, allow me to thank you. I've heard tell that your group... However, seeing that
Well, we've got nothing to hide. The golem's blades were so... Well, that was enough details, right?
Your account does indeed match those of the survivors. Since you were the ones who defeated the monsters,
Sorry.
that must mean
Making
you are
a lot of
also in
noise.
possession of the treasure they stole.
Well, we did...
How did he know about the treasure?
Then I must ask that you return it at once. It belongs to the kingdom.
Wait, but didn't you just say that our great deed deserved a reward?
Yes, that was indeed what I said. But you see, only that which is freely given by the king can be considered a...
But that's completely unreasonable.
Yeah, that makes no sense! If it weren't...
Maybe so, yet the fact remains. You tried to dispose of the treasure without What? No answer? Surely you're not insinuating that you, a group of legendary 𝓜𝓪𝓻𝓮𝓮 hunters, sought to take the treasure for yourselves?
Well, what about...
Clad in his magnificent robe, the king remains seated, with his hand...
From the look of things, could the Prime Minister be the evil sorcerer?
I would like to observe the number of guards.
The guards in the palace appear fully armed.
Well, there goes my plan to turn the whole place upside down.
It appears we've been visited by nothing more than a group of ill-intentioned imposters. Before I decide your fate, however, I must first determine whether you have any accomplices.
Can't we try to slip away? Or maybe start some kind of riot?
But if we try to fight the guard...
Don't worry. At least we figured out who's behind all this. Let's just play it by ear.
Thanks, you guys.
You allow yourself to be led away. It's only when you begin to feel drops of... Stay here! And the guards lock the cell door.
Wait, sir!
Your voice echoes through the dark hall.
No!
We'll carve out a new path of fate with our own two hands, of course.
You reach toward your waist, but find...
What about that knife I hid?
When did you hide it in there?
When I was thinking about digging a tunnel.
Rejected. You failed to inform the GM of this course of action. Moreover, the guards would have...
And the keys to the cell aren't anywhere to be seen?
Correct. You don't even feel a lock hole on this...
well...
Indeed.
Huh? Why are you the one saying indeed?
Because that statement holds true for me as well. This is where the script ends.
What? But that's a terrible...
Generally speaking, this should be the point where the scriptwriter gives the players some kind of hint, or gives the GM some kind of code for how to move forward.
I mean, maybe they just really wanted us to be immersed in the feeling of being in prison?
That is a possible...
If only there were desserts and tea in real prison.
Oh, before I forget. Navia, the short sword you had with you earlier, I took a closer look, and the craftsmanship doesn't appear to resemble anything from this era. If I remember correctly, that style was last in vogue several hundred years ago.
Wait, 𝓜𝓪𝓻 said that sword used to belong to her master, right?
I doubt it. The way she went about things often made her seem childish more than anything.
Hang on. A precious heirloom passed down to you by your master. And you gave it to me just like that?
Master left many things to me when she disappeared. There was the sword, an old key, and a good amount of junk she probably just didn't want to take with her. I gave you the sword back then, because I didn't want our friendship to end.
Wait, when did this happen exactly?
After the duel. Between Mr. Callis and myself.
Before that, 𝓜𝓪𝓻 would have meals with us and even stay over at the Spina some days. She was on great terms with Papa as well. After the duel, though, there was a period of time where we simply didn't know how to face each other. We were both sad and conflicted and totally overthinking everything as a result. Whenever I looked at this sword, I couldn't help but wonder if Miss Petronilla had never introduced us to each other at that picnic. Maybe part of the sadness I was feeling could have been avoided. Back then, it felt like I hadn't just lost a father.
No one can change the past. The most important thing is that you two found your way back to each other and can enjoy things like this together.
Yep, you're right.
Yeah, that's stupid.
I'm sorry. You
Think nothing of it.
Oh, looks like the next part of our script is here.
perfect timing. The situation was really starting to get desperate. And not just because of the prison thing.
From 𝓬𝓮's face, Paimon really can't tell if it's good news or bad news.
Water continues to drip from the sea. Eventually, you get used to the unpleasant odor. Suddenly, you hear footsteps outside.
Heads up, everyone. Someone's coming.
Gather close, everyone, and keep your voice down.
Who are you?
I work as a guard in these dungeons, but my true identity is the same as your own. I'm also a 𝓜𝓪𝓻𝓮𝓮 hunter.
Huh?
Shh! I've already sent away the other guards, but if we make too much noise...
I understand, but how can we be...
The king has issued a formal decree. In light of the irrefutable proof of your crime, you're to be
Executed?
Monsters appearing at the same location as the treasure. Could this entire thing have been a trap?
There will be time for speculation once we're out of here. Infiltrating the capital was difficult.
Have you seen our weapons anywhere, sir?
Don't worry, I brought them with me. They're just behind the door. His faction is too powerful. The guards are all under his control. To defeat him, you must find a secret vault. It is said that within that vault, the 𝓜𝓪𝓻𝓮𝓮 hunters of the past left behind a treasure with the power to defeat the sorcerer.
You're not coming with us?
No, I'll remain in the dungeons to deal with the guards. As long as my identity is not revealed, I'll be able to aid.
In that case, please stay safe.
Thank you for your concern. I will do my utmost. As for the location of the vault, here.
Got it.
All right, once I open the door, remember to stick close and refrain. You now have the chance to and be sure to exercise caution.
With the help of the guard, you...
Wait, we didn't get to use our skills at all while we were in prison. Who knows when we're gonna get the chance to use that cool summon spell?
That is a pity, but we can only continue to move forward.
This should be the place marked on the...
This bit of rock certainly looks
Well, I'd say an investigation's in order then.
Wow, you really meant that.
Before you lies a serene stretch of open water.
Well, guess this means it's time.
What's the matter?
It's nothing. As you step into the cave, you find yourself in an eerily...
treasure is hidden.
But this door is blocking our way in.
Huh. What have we got down here?
A pattern on a stone door.
Is something wrong?
After a long, difficult journey, you finally... Your surroundings are
That description makes Paimon feel kinda bad for disturbing.
We're doing this for the sake of the people.
Lenny's right. We need to keep going. The next part of the story requires us to solve the puzzle, right?
Yes. That... Something feels off about all this. Guess I'll just have to improvise.
I found something!
Found something here, too.
Same here. It worked!
Something just appeared. Some kind of new mechanism, maybe?
By solving the puzzles, you prove yourself at the end of each puzzle.
With?
A key.
Oh, it must be the key to the big door.
Huh? This is one of the 𝓜𝓲𝓻𝓮𝓮 hunter keys that are passed down from generation to generation. It is said that 4 keys in total are required to form the final, complete key. And it seems like we just collected 3 of them.
Huh?
You hear a few strange noises.
Huh? What's going on? Did we...
For the sake of immersion, please close your eyes, everyone.
But Paimon can still see a little bit over here. Oh, right. Sorry.
Suddenly, you hear the...
There's someone else here?
I've been discovered then.
Wait, that...
You recognize the voice as belonging to the guard who led you to this place. It appears he now covets the treasure for himself.
Oh, so this is just part of the script. Well, if we can't see anything...
Judging by the way he's holding his sword, he must be a real 𝓜𝓲𝓻𝓮 hunter. But this isn't part of the script.
Retreat! That's not the hunter way.
Your choice is noted. Please keep your eyes closed until I tell you the torches have been relit.
You got it!
Well then.
Oh.
Where evil lurks, shoot on.
I'd like to try to hit him with my sword.
Your strike is successful.
You're facing a veteran.
Is he still standing?
I wonder.
Goodness, he sure has a lot of HP.
Nope. Okay. I don't.
Into the shadows.
Is it over?
The enemy is strong and relentless.
What about...
Final strike. Ha!
Well...
Warm fire flickers across the walls once more. Your vision is now clear. In an impressive display of courage, the four of you successfully defeat the uninvited guest. That look in his eyes. It's like he became an entirely different person as soon as I defeated him.
Huh? Oh, wait. We're supposed to be role-playing.
Speak your name, guard. Why is this treasure really more important to you than bringing peace to...
What kingdom? What peace? Those were nothing but lies. I, Florian, am a true 𝓜𝓪𝓻𝓮𝓮 hunter, descended from...
So he's also using his real name. Or, wait, what?
Then I'm even more confused. If you truly are a 𝓜𝓪𝓻𝓮𝓮 hunter, shouldn't you want to help us just like you said before?
What do you know? In this day and age, there's no glory to be had as a 𝓜𝓪𝓻𝓮𝓮 hunter.
What's that supposed to mean?
My skills were passed down to me by my father. We lived a life of obscurity in the... And what did he get in return? A life of poverty and pain. In a world that forgot all about him. The 𝓜𝓪𝓻𝓮𝓮 hunters were the...
Is he talking about...
So that's why you want to...
If you already knew where the treasure was located, why didn't you just come down here and take it?
Because I still needed the final key.
Only a true 𝓜𝓪𝓻𝓮𝓮 hunter, as someone who sought to hurt others for his own gain.
Okay, but what is this treasure anyway?
You're sure you want to go in?
We've been talking about it for so long. Of course we want to see what's in...
And we've already defeated Florian, right?
Pesky brats.
Watch yourself.
Then let's open the door together.
All right. Your choice of action is confirmed. Before you, the door to the treasure, you hear the shrill wail of the door hinge as it rotates for the first time after years of disuse. Almost like a sleeping giant letting out an extended yawn.
It's open! Come on, let's go in! Paimon wants to see what's inside!
Ooh, me too!
I'm gonna do something. Just move stuff around. Shall we? Yeah, it's better. Oh my god.
Uncovering hidden treasure is the most exciting part of adventuring. What do we have here? Uh-huh.
A stone tablet? And some shabby weapons?
You call this a treasure vault? Looks more like an abandoned warehouse.
Maybe the troupe ran out of budget at the end?
They provided a super immersive experience at the beginning only to drop the ball at the most important part? They could've...
Wait, I get it now. Paimon, this is the real 𝓜𝓲𝓻𝓮𝓮 treasure.
Huh?
This is it? The 𝓜𝓲𝓻𝓮𝓮 treasure is just a stone slab and some broken swords?
Whoa, are you okay?
The 𝓜𝓲𝓻𝓮𝓮 before you appears to suffer a serious mental breakdown. One of you seems to understand the significance of the treasure already. If the rest of you wish to... So, how are you doing?
What just happened?
Do you remember how you got here?
I remember now. I brought you here because I wanted to... The explosives in the cave!
You mean these?
Huh? How did you...
I could tell something was off the moment I stepped into this cave, so I kept an eye out. I've already dismantled the whole thing.
So the strongest champion duelist in all of Fontaine saved the day once again. Guess I shouldn't be surprised. It would seem your skills as a 𝓜𝓲𝓻𝓮𝓮 are as sharp as ever.
I deserve some answers, don't you think? Everything you said earlier sounded like the truth. Luckily, your monologue was dramatic enough to convince my friends you were just role-playing.
I don't know. I just always felt like there was something in my heart that didn't belong to me. Something agitated and angry. Who knows? Maybe it was my own anger all along. The feelings about my father and the other 𝓜𝓲𝓻𝓮𝓮s are real. It just wasn't fair. I was angry, bitter that no one remembered them or praised their accomplishments. I don't know when it started, but at some point, my anger came to completely consume me.
But if the treasure was all you cared about, why plant all those explosives?
I can't remember.
From your description, I suspect you were dealing with a devorator.
Devorator?
Oh, your master... your father, I mean. Never talked about it?
No, I've heard of it. Wait, it can't be.
The seal?
My family has served as 𝓜𝓲𝓻𝓮𝓮s for many generations. But the title and swordsmanship weren't the only things passed down over our line. There was a seal as well. My father instructed me to always watch over that seal and maintain it regularly. He said it had been passed down over a truly ancient age, and protecting it was our clan's most important duty. But I neglected that duty after he died. I finally decided to come down and check on it one day, and that's where my memories become fuzzy.
The devorator would be a formidable adversary for any mortal being, even ones as capable as the hunters. If you lacked the power to completely destroy it, you could easily fall prey to its influence and corruption. In light of this, some 𝓜𝓲𝓻𝓮𝓮s chose to seal the devorator away, in the hopes that a permanent solution would come with the passage of time.
I heard it has the power to amplify the obsessions and desires in people's hearts, to the point where they overtake you entirely.
And yet, you were able...
One of them belonged to my father. The second... I know just how strong you are. The only way I could think to obtain that...
I won't comment on anything else.
Well, I did pour my heart and soul into it. The stories my father used to tell me about the glory of the heroic 𝓜𝓲𝓻𝓮𝓮s and how they came to be forgotten.
It's more than just a story.
Huh?
You're proud to be a hunter. You're still holding onto that part of yourself.
I have done so many despicable things.
Then explain the purpose of the evil sorcerer. Isn't he the true antagonist? The one who sought nothing but...
But I've already tainted my sword. I no longer have any right to...
I'll make it for her after this.
Wake up, Florian. Do you really think the hunters acted out of a desire for honor and glory? Or to... You do not wield your sword for yourself, but to protect those you serve. Do you still not understand?
You're right.
I wouldn't be so quick to push aside.
I know.
Good. Then, come with me. And help me see the script through to...
Huh? See the...
Never finished it, huh?
No, I mean, I wrote the script with the sole purpose of luring you all here. There was no reason to write beyond this point.
Then we'll just have to keep writing it.
You mean the Devourer? Are you saying I have to make up the rest of the script as we...
Is that really so hard?
You aren't afraid you're...
I know what my friends are capable of, and they're all quite skilled.
Then, are you going to tell them that...
I don't intend to spoil the fun.
They're back!
That took a while.
Ahem! My fellow 𝓞𝓲𝓱𝓫 hunters, please...
Tone it down.
Sorry. After crossing swords with you and witnessing your courage in battle, I've rediscovered my true self and...
Oh, do I smell a redemption arc?
I confess, I was brainwashed by the evil sorcerer.
That little... Wait, you're saying all of that was...
That's right. He's adept at manipulating the hearts and minds of the people. I fell under his influence because I did not possess a strong enough sense of will.
Huh. And how are you going to prove that you're a changed man?
To be perfectly honest, I only came to my senses after seeing the treasure. The treasure was actually...
The names of all the 𝓞𝓲𝓱𝓫 hunters from ages past and their weapons?
Wait, you already know?
Of course. Don't underestimate a veteran role player's exploration skills.
We just finished reading through the content of the stone tablet.
That tablet recorded the lives of some fascinating people. For example, this 𝓞𝓲𝓱𝓫 hunter called Est. She inherited the responsibilities of the Golden Hunter and passed judgment on many people. But in private, she had a very easygoing personality. Her favorite pastime was singing and dancing with her friends, and she was said to have a beautiful voice.
So, she was just like you.
Oh, you really think so?
Well, when you put it that way, I suppose working as an executioner, he supposedly used a countless number of tricks to confound his enemies in battle. Oh, if only I could have seen the feats of magic he pulled off back then.
Their lives were all so exciting. You could write so many cool books about their accomplishments. How could they have all been forgotten?
Because they chose to be. To hunt monsters that only appear in the shadows, you must also operate in the dark.
Then this stone tablet must have been left behind by their companions.
That's right. Few 𝓞𝓲𝓱𝓫 hunters ever revealed their identity to the public. They always protected the city from the shadows. The only time they spoke of their accomplishments would be at night, when they gathered with their fellow hunters in front of the bonfire to share stories of the monsters slain by their hand.
So, this tablet was created not so that the hunters would be remembered by the people.
No wonder this place was so well hidden.
You regard the stone tablet in solemn silence. The names of your comrades etched onto its surface. The tablet proves that, although a hunter walks a shrouded path, it is not a solitary one. Their legacies shall continue to be passed down from generation to generation, as everlasting as the stone onto which their names are carved.
Father, you once told me that I should seek out the treasure if I ever became lost. So this is what you wanted me to find.
Nah.
Thank you, my friend. I implore you, everyone.
Though I do want to
Please
use
give me-
it.
Well, sounds good to me too.
I have no objections, but Mr. Florian, do you even know how to defeat the evil sorcerer?
Huh? He's
What if the secret's hidden in GM? Permission to investigate.
At first glance, the weapons appear. These blades have slain countless monsters, though it's been a long time since they were used in battle.
So basically, take these with us, right?
I'll take this weapon, since it used to belong to Est.
Ah, good idea. I'll take Mr. Walter's bow then. From one archer magician to another.
Paimon's gonna pick a cool weapon too.
As you grip your weapons, you can almost feel the will of past hunters coursing through your being.
Mr. Florian, do you know where to find the evil sorcerer?
I was able to see his surroundings when our minds were connected. I believe he's currently hiding out at the church in the kingdom.
Basement. In my
He
house.
must be extremely careful. He's spent so long living among monsters that he's now taken the form of one. He will not be easily defeated.
Then why don't we explore some more and try to find some higher level gear?
No, we have to strike now. He was greatly weakened when I managed to...
I agree with Mr. Florian. We've got to act while we have the advantage. Don't forget, the people of the capital are counting on us.
Yeah, now that we've got a plan, there's no point in waiting. The longer this drags on, the...
Yes, that's what's called... Yes.
Alright, you've persuaded.
Mr. Florian, please, lead the way.
Of course. Follow me.
He had to set up so many scenes today, and now he has to join in for this.
Finally, you decide to slay. As you walk away, you feel the gaze of the...
Oh yeah.
Finally, you arrive at the church Florian described. As you approach, an ominous aura surrounds...
How strange. This uneasy feeling seems so real.
Now, it is time for the final battle.
Let's go.
Florian, wait.
What's wrong?
I think you should wait outside. You've already been corrupted by the Devorator once. It could easily re-enter your mind, and I don't think it's a good idea for you to...
That's exactly why I have to go. Why I should be at the very front. Yes. I intend to lure it into my...
That's too risky. If things get out of hand, I might have to kill you.
I understand, but if I do this, you'll have a clear and visible target. The Devorator will have a hard time passing up a chance. You're not like me, Miss 𝓜𝓪𝓻𝓮𝓮. You're a just and powerful 𝓜𝓪𝓻𝓱𝓪𝓾 hunter. The monster broke free due to... This is... Consider it a duel to restore my honor.
Then, as a champion duelist, I hereby accept your request for a duel. The battle is now upon us. Let the Devorator once again tremble under the blade of the 𝓜𝓪𝓻𝓮𝓮 hunter.
So lifelike!
This foe is not invincible. You hold the treasure. The power to defeat it in your own 2 hands.
The treasure? You mean...
The names! It's the 𝓜𝓻𝓻𝓮𝓮 hunters' names!
How are we supposed to...
You forget, Paimon? There's still one skill we saved until the very end.
Hunters fight not for fame, but to aid the people whenever they are summoned.
Walter the 𝓜𝓻𝓻𝓮 hunter, master of 1,000 tricks, executioner of the phantom hunters, I call for aid!
Est, the 𝓜𝓻𝓻𝓮 hunter, inheritor of Cassiodor's will, judge of the shadow hunters. Answer my call!
Petronia, protector of justice and order. The hunter I respect the most. Thank you for saving my friend, the best one I'll ever know. Please, lend us your strength!
We have come to answer your summons. And so, the monsters were eradicated, and the sorcerer was defeated. Peace soon returned to the capital. Those in the court some remembered the names of the heroes who saved their kingdom, but others simply continued their lives none the wiser. Such is the story of the 𝓜𝓻𝓻𝓮𝓮 hunters. They pursue the phantoms in the darkness and exterminate all who pose a threat. They will always protect the city and those within it, even should all memory of their accomplishments be forgotten by the very people they serve.
I am assuming we've finally reached the end of the script.
Yes, you've reached one of the better endings.
It's a pretty solid story overall. I thought it was just an ordinary adventure at first, but that final battle especially, all the effects were super...
Oh, right, yeah.
Ah, that's a really good point. I never expected the weapons we picked up from that vault would have that kind of effect.
Yeah, mine nearly scared the daylights out of... Oh, we should probably give these props back, right?
Did you have a good time?
Of course. Let me know if another script like this comes around.
Sure, no problem.
Then I'll head back for now. I think I need some time to fully digest everything that... Once Mr. Florian is awake, please pass on my regards to him.
You're right.
Well, see you all some other time. Toodaloo!
Okay, so...
I think it should be fine, yeah.
What in the world was going on back there?
So you...
That time in the cave when you told us to close our eyes, it'd be weirder if we didn't notice anything.
I was dying of curiosity the entire time. I mean, you did a pretty bang-up job of pretending nothing had gone wrong.
Guess none of us wanted to be the one to break the illusion.
What are you all talking about?
I was just playing along too. Yeah, what's going on? I was playing along too.
Oh,
I'm going
wait.
with that.
Don't tell me Paimon never...
Bit late for that, don't...
You're saying
Late.
everything that happened back there wasn't actually...
It's probably more accurate to say this was...
What?
So loud.
Hey, you! Get up right now and explain yourself!
No shaking, please!
I'm sorry. That's
Did Paimon
funny.
just hear that right? You guys made up that whole last part? It's not nice to lie to people, but Paimon's gotta admit that...
Yeah, it was like watching a magician improvise a spectacular magic trick after forgetting an important prop.
If Paimon knew something was wrong with that vault, she would have floated straight in the opposite direction!
Everything was under control.
As if you've ever described a situation as being out of control. I'm pretty sure any situation you consider to be easy to handle would scare a reasonable person half to death.
Guess I'm just used to it.
You must run into a lot of unexpected situations then. That explains why you're so good at coming up with things on the spot.
As for you, Florian,
I know there's no excuse for what I did.
I would say you've already... You may have been blinded by fame. You'll be far more used to the city above ground.
But...
Of course, you'll still need to take the keys and pay a personal visit to the 2 hunters you wronged. Prepare to accept any terms they give you as well.
Yes.
As far as I'm concerned, though, your showing in the duel was enough to prove your honor.
Then, thank you so much, everyone. Until we meet again, everyone.
Speaking of Marashose hunters, what should we do about the treasure in that cave?
Leave it be.
Are you sure? We could show it to people, make it so that the hunters are remembered.
No. Every name on that tablet made the same choice. All hunters know what the path entails. I am no exception. My identity as a Marashose hunter is not something I need people to remember. I wish only to be recognized as a champion duelist.
That's certainly very different from the path of a magician. Still, I admire your decision.
Wait, Paimon just remembered something. If there were no special effects involved, why did our weapons begin to glow during the...
That's because the Marashose hunters of ages past would often imbue their weapons with special enchantments to suppress the monsters. Whenever a monster was nearby, their weapons would start to glow.
Oh, so that's why they had an effect on that guy near the end. I really thought the summons were doing all the work.
Well, I'm sure the summons were a part of it.
Oh?
This particular devorator probably hailed from the same era as the hunters we saw in the room. The names you recited all belonged to the bravest hunters. Countless monsters fell to their blades. That's like...
So the names held the power all along!
Navia?
Huh? Oh, I meant what I said.
I really appreciated those words.
All right, all right. Don't get all sentimental on me. Anyway, let's not talk about that anymore.
She ran off!
I should probably head back as well. This story was truly incredible. Goodbye.
Traveler, should your name and deeds be forgotten, what do you think the significance of your journey will be?
I suppose the significance would be the journey itself and the world we helped create. There's still value in the time I shared with everyone here.
A great answer. I'll remember it. Me, the Marashose hunter, says nothing in response to that question.
You know, to be honest, like, actually hearing, like, the travelers speak more, it's actually kind of nice to hear, to be honest. Instead of her being, like, quiet most of the time. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, that's nice too, but, like, since she doesn't really talk much, I don't know if anybody, like, forgets, like, she has a voice or anything, but sometimes I forget she does.
Perhaps her answer lies in her silence. An unspoken vow left.
Alright. That was actually pretty nice. Alright. I guess one day do my dailies now. Get to watch me do my dailies.
Useless. Lament! Here! Solidify! This is order!
Inazuma shines eternal! Illusion shattered!
Nope.
Useless! Make way for the Adeptus!
Evil conquering! Useless! Boring!